Right, we're going to start doing a bit more podcasting and actually talking about processes and more business related stuff to do with the Merge Elite, life in general. You know, I guess you could say the whole motivational stuff that people like to do. I found because as of last year, which was so long ago, people actually enjoyed me talking to a camera. Don't know why. You guys can comment below and let me know. But yeah, the first topic is going to be something that's been pondering on my mind. I'm going to talk about it, obviously, or I wouldn't turn the camera on. And just shed some light on a few things that I've experienced recently. The main thing is limitations. I hear a lot of people limit themselves to what they can and they can't do. And frankly, for someone like me, it's a bit frustrating to see people do that, because you can meet someone and you can see the potential in them and they don't see it themselves. And then I'm also fully aware that some people, their journey is completely different than ours, and they're gonna go through life differently and they're gonna learn at different times in their life. Maybe I just learned a bit earlier than other people's to not limit myself. But then again, I would put that down to my mum and dad. I didn't have a limiting environment. From the age of 12 years old, I wanted to be better than pretty much everyone else in my school or my classmates and stuff. So, I was doing a paper round. I was, playing football as much as I could. I was trying to always be better. And in a way, it was to kind of like prove something to myself just as much as everyone else. And I was very grateful. I am still very grateful that my parents never limited me on that. It just scares me with limitations. And, in a millennial, like we're called the millennials, aren't we? I've read and heard and watched a bunch of content that, expresses that, millennials have been told that we can do whatever we want, whenever we want to do it. And because we've been told that we can do that. And that's not the case, which I agree to disagree. I do agree that if there is something that you want in life, then there isn't anything that really can stop you from getting it, to an extent, and that's where it's like agree to disagree, because if someone's in a wheelchair per se, like bound to a wheelchair, they're not going to run a marathon, but it doesn't mean that they can't do a marathon. They can just do a different type. My viewpoint on it is that you shouldn't have any. Because if I allowed people to limit me from a young age, then I wouldn't have had the drive that I have. I wouldn't have done what I did in my earlier years. I would never have pursued horses because it logically wasn't correct. I also had a very small experience in it. I got told quite frequently at the beginning of my equine career that I wasn't going to go anywhere or do anything substantial and so forth, but I graduated, I think, like the top person, if not like in the top 3 of my class. I was also valedictorian, and I don't know actually what the majority of my class are doing. If they're watching this, hi. But I've travelled the world. I've seen more of the world than most people will ever do in their lives by the age of 21. I lived away from home from, basically 16, because I'd only ever go home if, it wasn't term time. And even if it was out of term time, I tried to work in the area. And, if I had listened to those people, then I wouldn't have achieved what I have achieved. I have travelled, I've met countless amounts of people who have radically changed my life. I experienced things that a lot of people don't get the honour of doing, and I was able to do it at the age of like 19 years old. My first ever flight was all the way to America, and I did it on my own. I will never allow anyone to limit what I can do and who I am, because I think that would be disrespectful on my own life. This is mine, and that's what I kind of want to express to people out there if they feel like they are being limited to something, or if they've got limitations against themselves and stuff. It sounds funny because it's just like, just don't limit yourself. But I mean it in a way that if you've got people telling you that you can't do something and you really want to do it, what's the worst thing that can happen? You might fail. Whoop-de-doo, everyone freaking fails at something, you know, like, we all fail. It's life. Now the difference is, you might have that handful of people, or one or two people, who are telling you not to do it, that when you do fail, they'll do the whole, well, we told you so, and that is just to make themselves feel better. That's got nothing to do with you. It's just to make themselves feel better. But you know what the funny part is what happens if you actually succeeded? Just think about that. It's like, if you took what they were trying to do, what they were trying to convince you not to do, and you did it anyway, and you succeeded in it, and you were happier and more content with life and more fulfilled and everything like that, what are they going to say then? They can't say they told you so. The only thing that they can do is they can either sit there and congratulate you, or they can get butthurt by the whole idea. And if you are frankly surrounded by people who don't want you to succeed, and they don't want you to go after what makes you happy, then why are they in your life anyway? You know, in a business context, I frankly would suggest that everyone should open up their own business, regardless how big or small, just to see what you can do. Like for me, I opened up a Merge Elite, and it's amazing, and to be honest, it is one of the most stressful and frustrating and terrifying things that I have ever done in my life. But by doing it, I now have photography, film, social media, influencing. You guys have asked me to just sit here and speak to you and tell you how I live my life, and you are watching it, which I am internally grateful for. And that all started with Emerge Elite, with this, you know, with the brand that is in front of you. That this is how it happened. And I was incredibly fortunate in that situation, that the people that I told about the idea, which at the time was my current partner and my mum and dad, they didn't limit me. To be honest, if anything, they wanted me to do it. And I am grateful that I didn't have to deal with that situation of being limited and then having to go against someone. I was surrounded by amazing people. I just think currently, if you are sitting somewhere in your life right now and someone's telling you not to do something that you think might make you happy, and maybe you want their support because you're scared, like you are terrified about what's going to happen in that situation, then please take it from me. It will be okay. Whatever happens, regardless if you fail or you succeed, it'll all be fine. Once you realize how amazing life can be when you take it into your own hands and do what you want to do with it, you can fail 1,000,000 times and you'll still be happy. I fail every single day. I fail at something every single day. If it's not the right marketing plan, or I do something wrong at work, or I say the wrong thing to the wrong person and regret it, you know, it happens. And don't hang it over your head. You know, I'm 26 years old, that I have so much of my life left. You know, I have so much that I want to do in my life, and I would really hate it if someone was trying to stop me from doing it. So I guess I'm just sitting here saying to you guys that if someone is doing that in your life, maybe they're not good for you. Maybe they're not someone that you need to be around. Anyone can hit me up on my Instagram. It's Emily E. Topping. If you want to send me a DM and talk about anything that you're thinking or feeling about, please just let me know. We're coming up to a year of this channel. We're coming up to a year of actively taking a completely different direction in my life, and I cannot thank you guys enough for everything. So your attention, your communication, your support and love means the absolute world to me, and I hope that I continue to give you what you want. So with that being said, even though this is like a good 10 minutes in now, if you guys do have anything that you want me to talk about in particular, then please just send me a DM, send me an email, whichever way, and ask me, and I will talk about practically anything. Have a great evening, day, weekend, whatever time it is for you whenever you're watching this, and I will speak to you guys soon. Stay positive and all that jazz. I don't know, come out with some catchy catchphrase soon.